Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we're playing Chandra Vehicles. So it's a Gruul deck, which means green and red, and basically vehicle Chandra because of this one planeswalker right here who loves to put out and ride vehicles of her own. If this sounds good to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host, a person whose last name is Old Germanic for Silent Duck Farter, Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you. Filmed before a live studio audience. Thank you so much, Yukon Socket. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on the Aether Hub, posted by Poor Planeswalker, called Gruul Chandra Vehicles. Gruul Chandra Vehicles. Yeah, so I was, taking a look around. This deck looked interesting, bunch of interesting cards in it that normally don't go together, and I thought we got to try it out. Poor Planeswalker usually does a good job, does a good job at the decks he puts out, and I decided to try it out. So in my test, this has been a pretty cool deck, and I'm hoping that it holds out over the long run. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the cards in this deck. We'll talk a little bit how it should work, and then we'll go out and we'll crush some hopes and dreams. What do we got? We got 2 points of damage to any target, potentially ramp that up to 4. 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker, exile it if they would die. This says 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker, exile it if it would die. So that's what you need nowadays is a lot of exile cards. There's a lot of stuff that goes to the graveyard, just comes right back. That's just the devil. All right, we've got Llanowar, which is mana ramp. This guy's mana ramp, but of any particular color. Plus he can pump himself up and pop out a baby. Pop out a baby. What do we got? This guy, he's got trample 4/4 and toxic 1 and proliferate when he does damage to a player. So fantastic. That proliferation will help out with your planeswalkers, which we have 2 of. Lumbering Worldwagon pops out additional lands anytime it enters or attacks. Sentinel, it's a guy that puts out a token. He's probably the most boring, unsynergistic card in this entire thing, but he's a decent guy. Scrapshooter, if you promise a gift, you could destroy target artifact or enchantment. I'd say we probably need more of this guy, than this guy. But I don't know. That extra enchantment or extra artifact from this works a lot for lots of other things. So we'll see. Thunderous Velocipede, trample 5/5. You crew it up for 3. And that any other creature or vehicle enters the battlefield with additional Popo counter on it if it's a mana value of 4 or less. Otherwise, it enters with 3 additional Popo counters on it. So that's nuts. Chandra. Let's get back to Chandra. Let's go to Bristlebud. This dude's a trample 5/5. He's a great pilot for your things you need to pilot, such as the Worldwagon, who needs a 4. These guys kind of give you guys haste if you think about it, because you put these guys out, then you can put these guys out, then these guys can attack while this guy's still chilling, blowing smoke rings, right? But what does this guy do? Creates 2 food tokens. When he attacks, you can sacrifice a food token to mill 3 cards and put a permanent from amongst those that you milled into your hand. So he's kind of card draw as well. Chandra, let's talk about her. She does a lot for this deck. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, choose up to 1 target vehicle until the end of turn becomes an artifact creature and gains haste. Basically, Chandra is driving that artifact vehicle. No matter what it is, she can drive it. Then number 2, you sacrifice an artifact or discard a card, such as the one that's put out by the Sentinel of the Nameless City, at which point you can draw a card. All right, cool. You could do that. For 0, you can put out a 3/2 colors vehicle, and then you can crew it for 1. So that means any of your dudes can drive that 3/2 around. But worst case scenario, Chandra does it. So cool for her. And it's 7. Whenever an artifact you control enters, this emblem deals 3 damage to any target. So how many artifacts we got coming up? Well, we got Sentinel doing 1. This guy, when he comes into play, really, she's the one putting out artifacts. So you kind of don't want to blow it away, for 7, just to find out that she's not going to be out there to put more guys away. So, whatevs. I wouldn't use her Super Saiyan ability. It's not as important. It's just her ability to drive vehicles around. And lastly, we get to Nissa, who puts out Phyrexian Horrors. The Phyrexian Horrors. Yeah. And first, the Horrors. Equal to her loyalty, which is either going to be, what is it? 5, 6, or 7, depending upon how much you paid to get her out. She can destroy artifacts or enchantments, or you give all your dudes +1/+1 for each forest you control and trample. Problem is, we got a lot of dual lands that are not forests, lots of them, and that will get in our way. But that does count as a forest right there, the commercial district. And we got a lot of forests right there. And who else can go get forest for us? Lumbering Worldwagon. So we got a lot of ability to start getting forest specifically, but it's not going to be like when you drop her, you're automatically going to have 7 forests ready to go. Nope. You're going to have probably more like 3 or 4. So anyways, that's it. What are we doing over here? We have no man lands. We do have the ability to put out fish. And yeah, that's about it. So what are we going to do? We're going to control the board a little bit with our pingers of justice and exiledness. Get out our mana ramps, and then just start going to town with vehicles and getting our mana spun up like crazy. Eventually, we'll start dropping things for 7, at which point between our vehicle drops and our horror drops and whatever else is going on, hopefully we'll have enough to beat our opponents to the ground. All right, let's go and do that. Before we do, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Hands together. Dear Black Queen Sholdred, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentations of the women. All right, we're playing against Chew It. All right, let's do as we always do. Turn off the lights, shut off the candles. These things are dangerous, man. Poke the Jawas in the eye. These aren't the droids you're looking for. All right, now we can drop a 3 on the next turn, provided we keep this guy alive. He doesn't look like the kind that likes to keep guys alive. Quit looking at me, Jawas. All right, another Copperline Gorge. Let's go for a full-on Sentinel at this point. All right, these guys only need crew 1, which means Llanowars can actually drive around on them. Let's make some babies. There's 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, commercial. Let's put this guy like this. Grabbing some more lands. All right, put on another one. Next to combat. You're going to be my friend this time. All right, attack. Right there. Let's just take them out. That's fine. We'll waste the turn. Are we up to 7 yet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's technically a 7. Let's get the boys going. And we win. And we win. Suck it, sucker fish. Suck it. All right, playing against Brethren AM. Brethren AM for the morning time Brethrens. Keep. All right, let's just see if we can go and get some stuff started here. We got a beast. Let's shut that guy down. You can just stand there. That's great. I'd appreciate that. I wonder if this guy's trying to go full poison on me, like white poison. I shipped out to commercial district. Didn't really need it. Like next turn is probably going to be commercial district. All right, well, they can't block, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, well, looks like we're going to go rage a little bit. Yes, let's go get ourselves a forest. Interesting. And it's lots of little guys. The poisons we got to worry about the most here. All right, I could do. Want to have a little bit of flexibility. We'll do this. We'll put out our friend right here, and then we think he'll do just chump on me. You know, who I really want dead is that guy. All right, what I'm looking for is Nissa, the Ascended Animist, because those little chumps are going to get in my way a lot. This guy's got trample, though, which isn't too bad. We're surveilling. It's a surveil time. More mana. You know, I think I'll be all right. Oh, I hate pacing. Yes, yes, yes. All right, there we go. All right, chump. All in. Yeah, I'll sacrifice one. That sounds great. This is all I get out of the deal, huh? Surveil is probably the best course of action at this point. He's just putting chumps out like crazy. I gotta get my tramplers going. These guys are worth 10. You can't block with these guys. Let's discard a card. This other changer's not going to do me any good. That kind of sucks. Yeah, we'll get him going. He's just going to get chumped. It's not that big of a deal. And the other one. Do I have enough mana to put him out? I'll get this guy because I think I probably have the best chance. I didn't do any actual math here. But I had enough for him. All right, here we go. Bloated Contaminator. Now I'll actually be able to defend for a second here. He's not going to like it. So he's got 4. He's got enough to kill me if he can get rid of my defenders. You got to ground me down, man. You got to grind at me with those little dudes. There we go. I update. You guys, the ability to do 2 more to me? Doesn't look like it. That's not really helping me out, and we win. Victory! Our pen against Kachuk 23. Kachuk. All right, keep. And this set just has too many sources of light. I got some burst lightnings, not bad. Unfortunately, we take out little guys. That's probably our best course of action. That ward is what, 3 life? All right, I got 2 mana. Oh, I had 3. All right, I'll just use it this one. It's fine. All right, so we've got to kill all the life gainers. That's what we got to kill. Melee Bedelia won't get anywhere. I do have, what, 4? I'll have 5, so I could potentially do Burst Lightning for 4. All right, what else? As soon as I start counting my mana and creatures, they start killing them. All right, we'll leave it. I still have this guy available for burst any color. Wow, that's great. All right, apparently I have to kill this guy. You can see what I'm playing next, man. That's all there is to it. I really don't need extra mana, so I'll put this one out. Slow. We'll throw this guy out. And let's go to town. Let's take them both in. He wants to trade out a lion with me. That's fine. All right, that is a problem. He can't do anything else this turn, though. Hopefully we get a little bit more removal. That'd be fantastic. You gain 3 life. I mean, it's only 4 is the max you can gain anyway, man. What is the deal? I guess you could pull it at any time. There you go. All right, these guys need crew, so that's not that big of a deal. Should I put out another one just because I have nothing better to do? One comes out as a 6. I need some guys. That's what I need. What does this thing do? Put a +1/+1 count on this creature. Alright, so we can do something tricksy. I can block with them and then tap them. Oh, that is a problem. Alright, well. The guy got lucky. Alright, good. I didn't know what I was going to do with those guys anyway. I don't have enough to crew them up. Crew 3. So I could make the Wild Guide into a guy I can crew on. Alright, it's more than I can handle. I'm down to 1. I gotta do 17 points of damage now. Looks like we'll get 14 in. That's it. Alright, he's down to 4. Not enough to do that. Yeah, let's pump it all up. But yeah, we just lost. Alright, we did very well. We did very well. Alright, we are playing against John. Let's go red. I'll just put that guy out. We have nothing. Jeez, people. I want the mana. I want it. Okay, still nothing to do. Let's surveil up. Sure, that guy's fine. Playing against planes up here. Make him lose a turn, essentially. This guy's a great defender. I just never realized how well the vigilance is on that thing. Alright, is he gonna lose both his guys? Nope, he's just gonna let it happen. Let's take it out again and elf up. All right, cool, man. You got your thing you're doing. That's the deal, huh? Go ahead and waste your side. You can kill the dude. And let's go. All right, there we go. You're down to 8 and up to 6. I know you're trying to come at me with your aggro. I love it. I think it's a great aggro deck. But you're going to have to start playing defense here pretty soon, and that's not cool for you. All right, 6 mana. I can put both these guys out. I can't attack with the Worldwagon on the first turn. And we win! Boom, boom! Goes the room. Alright, we're playing against FrancisMagic. FrancisMagic. What an incredible last name. Congratulations, man, on lucking into that. Mulligan. I will keep this one. And we'll get rid of the non-colored land. All right, with this I get a 3 going. So I'll probably put out the Lumbering Worldwagon. That way everything will be fantastic. And we need to get some just green mana. There we go. The next turn we can start lumbering in. As one does. It's a vehicle. It's vehicleizing. Alright, I'll put out a guy. Requires 4, so that requires both of them. I'll have to get both those dudes behind the steering wheel. One to operate the gas and the brake, and the other one to drive. The kills that were kind of out of play at the moment. I could still probably slam in and get both of those guys up. There you go, C-3PO. Knocked on your butt. I know. Suck it up. Obliterating Bolt. Yeah, I'm not attacking anybody with the Llanowar. He's not buff enough to be able to go at it. Oh, the humanity. I'm not even close. This is what I don't like about vehicles, is you gotta have creatures to actually, drive them and stuff. Let's get some more forests out there. We just happen to get a Nissa at some point. We'll be doing awesome. Chow time. That looks delicious, doesn't it? Yum. All in. One, two, three. What do we get? Nissa. Oh, the devil. Okay, I do all of this. Alright, we're still loaded with burst lightning. I can do 2 points of damage to something. I have to sacrifice. I have to kick it. Kick it! I'll kick it next turn. And we win! Suck it, sucker fish! Suck it! Alright, we're playing against bjohnson. 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 Keep. We're going to go for a Worldwagon here. Now we can get out a Bristlebud Farmer on the next turn, which means that the Worldwagon can come swinging around, which means more mana for us. As we get up to 7, we can Nissa. Hopefully that'll be the game. Yeah, let me go, man. I'm just surveilling here. Sure, why not? tapped. Okay, we're up to, what was that, 5, 6? We're getting a 7th on the next turn. All right. It's not enough to go super on anybody. Don't like the fact he's probably going to try to counter me. I will wait a second. Let's just put out another Bristlebud. You need to counterspell that? Nope. All right, let's attack with what we got. So we'll leave Llanowar back. Let's see if we pull something awesome here. Okay, we got 3. Make some damage. Worldwagon. Is that the guy you want to try to counterspell? See, we only got 3 forests. That means that Nissa going up to Super Saiyan ability is only going to give +3 to all my guys. Still, the Animist is the best way. We're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got a full meal deal right there. We got a 5, 5 straight, showing them straight down. All right, bounced back, but I still got the Worldwagon out there. Yeah, fine. Have a good time. And we win! Sucker, sucker, fish! In your face! All right, and so here we are with an 80% win rate. It is Chandra Vehicles. Chandra Vehicles. Yeah, it was a pretty sweet deck. It actually worked out well. I'm not usually a fan of vehicles. The problem with me and vehicles is that, I feel like they are slow, and then you don't get to use them if your pilots are not around. This deck seems to get around it. It's not too bad. We got some big guys for driving the big machines. Like, I'm a big, Bruss plant druid, and I like to drive big old dinosaur-looking guys. But it works. It works well enough. Plus, the guys that Nissa puts out, usually they're pretty decent at driving things as well. So altogether, it wasn't a big deal, and it usually ended up working out just fine. So let's get to it. Who was the MVP? Who was the most valuable player? I'd say in this deck, it felt like it was Lumbering Worldwagon. Reason why is I needed the mana. I really wanted to get up to 7. I wanted to ramp it, and the Worldwagon really helped with that. The biggest problem with the Worldwagon is the fact that it accrues 4. But, I'd get like a Llanowar Elf out and maybe a Sentinel, and that's 4. So the 2 of them might have to be behind the wheel. Like a couple of short dudes, one of them working the pedal and the gas while the other guy's driving the machine up top. That works out sometimes, just so you can get your other guys out and actually continue with it. My favorite thing is when we had Chandra out and we put out those little tiny motorcycles from Akira, and then the Llanowar Elves could just drive them. That was great, because then they were hitting in for 3 apiece. And that was kick-ass in my opinion, because then we're doing if I had a couple of them out, doing 6 points of damage, and then Chandra would flip up a third, she'd ride it herself. They'd just be, Chandra was actually smoking it. So even though I gotta say the Lumbering Worldwagon was the one I was making the most use of in this deck and is totally MVP, Special mention goes to Chandra Spark Hunter. I played it a couple times before. This is the first time that she really stood out to me as being an excellent planeswalker. Really good. And to me, it was just creating those vehicles, and then her beginning a combat turn ability, what made her fantastic. All right, there we go. Let's move on. Is this deck competitive at 80%? Yeah, it was a competitive deck. It did really well. Could it do well on the ladder? Yeah, I think so. I mean, it felt like any Platinum Mythic deck to me. So those decks don't feel like they're particularly good decks. The ones I'm usually seeing as being the best decks are those super aggro decks, which are all like, hasty red right now and variations of that. This felt like a Platinum Mythic deck. So I'm going to say, yeah, I think it was a competitive deck. Number 2, was this deck fun? Yeah, it was fun. The reason why it was fun, it was because we were always doing something from the beginning of the game. 1, 2, 3. It had a nice mid-range curve to it, and the game, it just kept going. Even when I was playing against mono red, it didn't feel like I was losing out too badly because we did have a little bit of control between the Burst Lightning, Torch the Tower, Obliterating Bolt, that allowed me, and plus dudes with big butts that could potentially guard. And then once we got to the middle of the game, then the deck really started rocking on its own. The big old vehicles were great for being in there. So altogether, it had a nice mid-rangey feel to it, and it was a fun deck to play. All right, lastly, was this deck interesting? Yes, it was weird, right? I haven't played anything with vehicles that hasn't been a big deal for me. I think I've been playing Llanowar Worldwagon a little bit. This is probably the best vehicle that's been coming out recently, at least I've been seeing around, from the Aetherdrift set. So it's been in a lot of stuff. But in all reality, it was pretty decent. It was interesting. I guess the only other guy we got in here is really, it's the Thunderous Velocipede and Chandra putting out vehicles. This made this thing feel incredibly vehicle heavy, even though we really only had 2 vehicles and a planeswalker that just really likes vehicles in this situation. No, the mana ramp aspect of what we got going on here was great. The amount of the balance of the mana to it was fantastic. This guy's ability to draw cards, great. Plus, he's a good pilot at that. Altogether, it was an interesting deck. You don't really see it. It didn't play like anything else. It was just a good mid-range gruel kind of action there. All right, so let's add this up. Was this deck competitive? Yes. Was it fun? Yeah. Was it interesting? Totes McGoats. All right, so that makes this into an A+ deck. And as I'm required by federal law to say, this deck is so choice. I'd highly recommend you pick one up, should you have the means. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the underground secret headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes.